Hey everybody, welcome back. This is part 2 of the 66 Chevy Nova SS build. Gonna do a little bit of bare metal foil here. Not gonna do the entire bare metal foil, but I am gonna do some. So I'm gonna get the camera set up to do that. But first of all, before I get going, go over and if you hadn't already, hit the subscription button. I'd appreciate that greatly. The channel's growing and everything's doing great, but if you don't mind going over and doing that, and go to our Facebook group and join that as well. And don't forget to go over to Hobby Nut Models, where I got this model car from, and check out Mark's inventory. All those will be linked in the description below. Let me get the camera set up. Okay, here we go. So first things, always make sure you've got a new blade on your X-Acto knife. Got to make sure of that, or else you're going to have a mess on your hands. Alright, so what do I do first? So I don't have to do... Alright, so this has chrome that goes here and here. And I don't think it's got the little front pieces though, so there's actually chrome trim that goes there. Maybe I'm missing something. Anyway, if there's not, I'll put a piece of chrome right there. So let me go ahead and just do around this door here. So I'll take my little handy dandy little ruler here, and I'm gonna go 7. This is centimeters. 7 centimeters, and it's about the width of the ruler. So set that to the side. I'm starting to run out here, so it won't be long. I'll be ordering some more bare metal foil. All right, so just cut you a piece. Be generous with it. Go ahead and cut more than what you're going to need. It's not that expensive. I hear some guys say, "Man, I can use Elmer's glue and tin foil. It's way cheaper." But I mean, really, you can, if you buy a sheet of bare metal foil, you can foil like, man, you can do like 5 or 6 different builds for like what, $10, and it saves some trouble. So peel this off. Then the older this stuff gets, the less it wants to stick to, so beware. Try to keep it used up. So we're just gonna go right over where we want it to be. I can already tell you this stuff isn't sticking very well. Let me grab a couple of my little Q-tips here. So we'll take and rub this onto the surface it needs to be sticking to. This is going all the way around. Let me show you a picture real fast if you can see it. See, it goes all the way around. So I want to try to use one piece and then I'll cut it out. It's easier that way for me. I like to use one large piece rather than trying to use little small pieces. Personal preference. You do it how it works best for you. I'll do it how it works best for me, and we'll all be happy. So press it in. It does stretch a little bit. So since it is just a thin piece of metal, essentially, it does stretch some, so you can press it in like here on the vent windows. If you press real hard, like in the center, you're going to knock a hole in it. But if you are gentle, you can get it to contour kinda where you can see where you need to cut it at least, and have you a handful. Oh boy, see what I did? I just slipped right there, but that kind of tells you how much it will stretch too. But have you a handful of these Q-tips. They get the end worn out. I slipped again, and they won't do such a great job. So make sure you've got, I bought these from Amazon. I need to get a couple more because these are stiffer. They're like Q-tips for makeup, or nails actually. So I need to get a couple more of these. But they have really stiff tips, so you can get into the little creases a little bit better. And they also bend right over too if you're not careful. Alright, so first things first, do I want to cut the inside out or do I want to cut the outside? I don't know. I'll do it what I think is going to work the best. Make sure you don't have foil on the end of your... Okay, here we go. I think I'm going to cut the inside. So I'm going to leave myself plenty of overlap, okay? This is going to lay over on the inside, okay? So let's just start in this corner here and up a little so it can have plenty to lay over. And you're going to make mistakes, just like I'll make a mistake, I'm sure, doing this. It's okay. All you got to do then is pull it off and start over. But if you cut it too short, I would say that's going to be harder to manage or deal with than if you've cut it too long. You can always go back and, dang, and the knife will walk all around doing this too. Sometimes when you cut pieces out, stick them back on the paper. You may can use it for a smaller piece. All right, so now I want to kind of roll this over, and we'll go back and trim it up. In the corners here, I'll just kind of go diagonal. That way you can roll the corners. This is always the longest part of the build and the video. That's why I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'll do this side here. Just give you an idea of what to do. And now obviously I'm going to trim all this off, the excess on the outside. Alright, so there's not a real definite line down here, just like on the windshield. There's not, the windshield chrome down here is not going to be real definite, but best you can. Oops, sorry. Also, there's a great tip, and I forgot to do it. Speaking of tip, the tip of your blade here, because it's about the same color as the foil, take your black Sharpie and put some black on the end of your tip there. That way you can distinguish your knife from it, because it will run together sometimes. You can't tell. Alright, so I don't know if you can see this, but I've got to lay it down. I'll start right back here, and best of my ability, pull this thing right where the chrome trim would stop at. Not pressing too hard, because I don't want to make a huge cut into the paint, but pressing hard enough that it cuts through. Alright, there's that. I didn't go quite far enough. Okay, now for the top, the drip rail. The knife a lot of times will ride right in the drip rail, but if you're not very careful, it will walk on you, and you will have a drip rail 3 inches wide if it were to scale 1 to 1. Right down there. Try not to lift your blade, that way you don't have these little pieces that are still connected. But remember, that new blade is going to work so much better. If you're using an old blade, it will just pull the material with it. Alright, so here is the part where you have to be very cautious. Can't tell if you can see this or not. I'm going to pull this off. But when I start to pull it off, I need to make sure that my cut went all the way through, and it did. And I'm going to try and do both pieces. Oh, it broke, so that's okay. Come down here. Like that, and voila. Alright, so now we can go back and Again, look at our cut, make sure it doesn't need to be trimmed up. Maybe the drip rail's too wide, you need to go back and adjust it. That's fine, you can do that. What I do generally is, if I have a little piece that I've cut off, I'll take a toothpick or something and I'll pick it to get it off, rather than the blade of the knife, because I have scratched the paint doing that. So I'm going to press all this in really good on the inside. Go in here, get it all pressed down. You can always trim all this back off, but again, you want more than enough. Not enough is a pain in the behind. I have found that if you try to piece one piece, two piece, three piece, it just takes a lot longer. And you can, I think it's more, it's more seamless, literally more seamless to do it this way. Okay, here's another thing I want to tell you. So I've already trimmed all this, so I have a lot less, and I probably should have done this first. I should have cut the inside of this out and didn't think about it. Now I'm going to cut this window. If I go pressing on this to try and conform it, it's going to pull that. There's only a little bit of bare metal foil here now holding on, so it's going to pull it loose. So I need to just kind of deal with what I've got and go ahead and cut this out, or else I'm going to have issues. So let's cut down here and leave yourself enough to wrap around the post. Up. And now it's going to be a pain in the behind because it's one piece is going to want to. That's okay. I'll go all the way, let the blade go to the corner. Both right there. Now, because you can't really cut that off, just roll it on around. Go ahead and hit your edges, get those rolled in, and take that piece here that you couldn't cut and just roll it on around, and you can cut it off later, just like that. I am no expert at this, but it's not as hard as people think. And my personal opinion, I don't like the pins, or even I've done the Sharpie. Yeah, it does it. You can do it with the pen, the Molotov. I always say Molotov, but isn't that like a Molotov cocktail or something? That's not a bomb. But I don't prefer the pen or the markers because they just don't look as real to me, and you can really mess up with the pen. I can pull this back off, but if you mess with the pen or the Molotov chrome, it's done. It's all over your paint, so remember that. Okay, so I do have a few little flaws here. See here where it didn't wrap around far enough. I didn't cut it quite. There. Well, I didn't cut it quite long enough. What I will do, I'm not going to wrap that again. I will take my chrome paint right here, this Model Masters chrome paint, and I'll just touch that up, and you'll never know it. So that I use that quite often. If I make a boo-boo on my bare metal foil, I'll just do that, and it seems to work quite well to disguise it. And then get in here and work all your seams. You don't want a big ballooned piece of bare metal foil. You want the seams to be definite. And I will also take my panel line accent, and I will run it in here to break these lines up. So there's all kinds of little things that you can do to try to get that realism to just jump. But there is other than a few little touch-ups, there's one side with the bare metal foil. Obviously you can go in there and trim up. I'll paint my headliner. I usually go paint that black, paint all the quarters back here black, and I'll trim all this off. And yeah, that's how you do it. That's how I do it. That's not how you do it, because you're going to do it how you do it. But that's how I do bare metal foil. Good deal? All right. Let me continue on, and I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, so I got the bare metal foil done. I included the windshield wipers in this. You can go around the windshield wipers if you want, but what I'll do is, because I just went ahead and foiled all the windshield wipers, I'll go in there and paint black what I need to, and I'll also blackwash some of it, so you'll see the lines, because you don't want it just to be a big blob of chrome, but it makes it easier to do that than going in there and painting the windshield wipers a different color, or I'm sorry, not a different color, with paint, just paint them, period. So the bare metal foil is done, both sides. The back window, I've got some, like I say, some touch up to do on the vent posts and things like that. But other than that, looks pretty good. And I need to get the body all cleaned up, because when you're doing this, you get so many handprints on it. So when you do clean your body, be careful not to disturb the chrome, because if you're not careful, you'll hit the edge and you'll be peeled a piece off, and it will be to redo. So there we go. All right, so now I'm going to work on the engine, getting the plug wires done on the engine. The windows need to be put in after I paint the headliner. I will paint the door handles. This bare metal foil I have now is a little thicker for some reason, and it won't conform so good to the door handles. I don't think it will. I didn't try it, but it seems to be a little thicker, so I wasn't going to do that. And then I need to get the engine mounted and all these things, but it's coming together really, really good. This was is a crucial thing, is the bare metal foil, to get it right and to look good. And so that's done. This thing's going to move pretty fast now. So let me get some other things done. Let me get some plug wires run, the engine mounted, and we're getting somewhere. Stand by. All right, so I got a pretty good bit of progress here. Got the wheels put together. They look great. The grill is black washed, and I installed the blinker lights. Just joking. That's that Testers. What is it? Testers. Oh, let me see. Why they got it right so darn small on these things? Testers turn signal amber metallic. And I just took a toothbrush. No, a toothpick, and I just put it in there. Here's the tail lights. Doesn't that look like glass? Isn't that cool? So it's clear. I've got some metallic red. Oh, let me see, which one is it? Metallic red right here. So I didn't shake it real thoroughly on purpose. I didn't want tons of the metallic mixed in it. So I took I brushed it. Used a brush, and I just brushed it into my taillight fixture, and it looks like you've put a piece of glass in there, and it's dry. So that's pretty cool, to not let the metallic get in there too much. And I use a little thin down bit of white for the reverse lights. Got the engine in, plug wires. That breather's just sitting there. Interior's ready to go. The hood's got the chrome on it. I've got these chrome pieces that go along the bottom side of the body. They go along here. I'm not going to install those until I get the body mounted, because knowing me, and you have to pry more, usually on a body you have to pry it in certain places. I'm not going to take a chance of knocking that stuff off. And the grill and the rear bumper go on after it's assembled. So I'm pretty well done with this breather's just sitting on here. I was going to show you pretty well done with everything. Got the headers installed. They were a pain in the butt, but I got them in there. So I had to install the one on the passenger side. It was installed on the engine. Couldn't put them both on there, so I installed that one. Got the engine in place, got it glued in, and then I was able to install the other one while the engine was in place. So it worked out. Yeah, bare metal. All the windows, obviously, the windows are in. I used a combination of Mod Podge. Don't want to mispronounce that. I would hate to get reprimanded for for mispronouncing the darn name that I can't see because they got this sticker across of it. Anyway, Mod Podge. I use some Mod Podge, like for the headlights I use Mod Podge because it's more of a glue, sticky, so it holds a lot better. The windows I used the Testors clear parts cement, and some places where it was a little much of a gap, I would take some Mod Podge and I would brush it in there to fill that gap, and it becomes really, really clear. So anyway, I've got a few things. Got to install the radiator, which doesn't fit that great. It actually hits the fan a little bit, so I'm gonna do some minor adjustments there. Other than that, attaching the wheels to the chassis, attaching the adding the interior to the chassis or to the body, and then putting all that together, I'm pretty much done. So I think the next video, or the next section of this video, will be this kit put together. And by the way, I've been using my Tamiya side cutters that Hobby Nut model sent over, and they are magnificent. Alright, so let me get this thing together and we will be back in just a second. Stand by. Alright, here it is, all finished up, and it turned out to be really, really nice. I'm really proud of it. It's got that MCW enamel shine, no clear coat, just the enamel with the hardener. And I want real quick, this sometimes there's some confusion with this paint. I think this is an enamel paint that you add. You don't have to, but you add the hardener to it and it cures it in just 4 hours or so. I mean, it literally it cures so fast when you add the hardener. So yes, this is an enamel, and it is a there is a hardener that you can add to it. And you don't have to add the hardener. It's just gonna cure faster if you do. Not that it does make a difference with the shine, but once I started adding the hardener, dang, it did seem like I got a better shine. But anyway, yep, that's what it is, MCW paint. But yeah, it turned out so good. Older kit has some issues. You can work through them. It's no problem. The interior looks really nice. The paint, again, it was an orange and a blue, and I had two pieces of jars of paint that wasn't enough for a complete, shoot. So I just combined them, and it came out with this green, and it looks really nice. It's a beautiful metallic color. But so it's all done. I went kind of just street rod with this, not stock. My original intentions was to go stock, but I said, shoot, I want to put the headers on it and some other things. It's got the little side pipes that come out. The headers drop down, which is really cool. How the headers drop down like that. Anyway, the Krager wheels. All this is chrome, so this is all chrome that comes with it. All these pieces. It's got the emblems. You can't see much, but it says Super Sport back there on the corner, or on the rear quarter. The decal there is 327. There's a decal here on the hood that just says Chevrolet, and then I did the yellow or the orange. Actually, it turns out more yellow, but it's an amber color for the blinkers. Got the license plate on it. Bare metal foil all the way around. I did a little bit of a tutorial on this video of how I do bare metal foil. Under the hood is the 327. I believe it's 327. Wasn't that what it was? But anyway, small block Chevy. Chrome breather, which that is the way it's supposed to look. I looked at some pictures. I was like, is it supposed to be chrome? But it is supposed to be chrome. Plug wires ran on it. Detailed it up a little bit. Not a whole lot, but I did detail it up some. But it turned out to be just a really, really nice car. The interior did turn out to look like armor-alled vinyl. I mentioned about my dad armor-alling the seats on his little Ford Ranger pickup. and you could just slide across. You could jump in and just slide all the way across, but that's what it looks like. It looks like those seats have been armor wrought. I used a I think a satin finish. It may have been a semi-gloss, but I think a satin finish. And yeah, it turned out pretty nice. The bottom is just, I just did a little bit of dry brushing just to give it a driven look. Did sand the tires, but it turned out to be just a nice looking car. I do like the side pipes. I think they're cool. Looks like something that the guys around where I live here would do. Just drop it right out. But those low hanging long tube headers, look at that. Isn't that cool looking? Blacked out the grill with the Tamiya panel line, accent color. But other than that, she's done, and it's going to look really good on the in the display case, sitting beside those other cars that I've done. And I guess that's about all. Don't forget, the reason I have this kit is because Mark over at Hobby Nut send it over to me, and don't forget to go over there and check out Mark's inventory, hobbynutmodels.com. It will be linked in the description below. Also, go over to our Facebook group. Go join over there. I'll post this video on there as well, and you can check out tons and tons of, we're nearing 2,000 members, but you can just see so many great builders and interact with them and everything that goes on there. It's a lot of fun. What else? Oh yeah, the Facebook group is linked in the description. I'm stumbling over my own tongue. So if you want to join the group, just click that link down in the description of this video, and you can see that. Also, the little sticker over there, that's a sticker that we have, or I have, over at my Teespring store. You can go over there and check that out and get you a sticker or a t-shirt, or a hoodie, or a whatever else is over there. A coffee mug. You need you a coffee mug, a Model Car Videos coffee mug. That's what you need. Go over there and check that out. Also, it's in the description below as well. Don't forget, I got these cool Tamiya snippers from Hobby Nut Models. Go over there and check those out when you're checking out Mark's inventory. All right, guys, done with all the important stuff. I'm going to take some pictures of this kit and post them at the end of this video to get kind of up close and personal, give it a pose and see how she takes pictures, see how photogenic she is. It looks cool too. Check out the stance, kind of up in the back. It's just, these Chevy 2s are just cool looking cars. They were just so cool looking. Anyway, all right, I'm done. You guys have a good one. Don't forget, if you're watching this video when it comes out, the date today is, oh shoot, what is today? Is it November 1st yet? I don't even know what the date is. Anyway, this next coming up weekend will be Saturday, November the 6th, 2021, and I will be at the Acme Model Show in Atlanta, Georgia. And if you're going to be there, hit me up. We'll talk. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hang around just a second. You can see some pictures of the old girl, and we'll see what she looks like in photographs. So you guys take care, and we will see you on the next video. Bye.